make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat you with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is reportedly preparing for a showdown with Devin Haney at 140 pounds. He has agreed to the rehydration rules and remains fully confident that his abilities are above anyone he could face.
All of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clauses. I don't even do that. Yeah. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going?
Devin Haney is making it clear that the matchup with Shakur Stevenson is going to take place. He's showing focus and determination, leaving no doubt that this is a fight he genuinely wants.
Still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur, Teofimo, Tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, we're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which, even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We try to make it happen.
Shakur Stevenson insists he isn't intimidated by Devin Haney, but he expects Haney's team might attempt to portray him as avoiding the fight.
Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is gonna demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that. I
would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This has got Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no.
Shakur Stevenson claims his abilities on another level, convinced that no opponent can defeat him. He also feels that Devin Haney lacks the punching power to put him away.
He's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing
to
make the fight. But
do you see it as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole plot is like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is determined to prove himself among the sports elite, seeking fights against top competitors like Shakur Stevenson to demonstrate his true caliber.
Fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then if when the time is right, then, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all.
Bill Haney states they won't move down in weight or wait around. Anyone looking to challenge them will need to step up to 140 pounds.
Didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Teo not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? As far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed, so they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way that they've.
He adds that the matchup can happen as soon as the opponent is ready to take the fight.
We must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. They're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, we'll never do it. Obviously, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to go somewhere.
Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson has the potential to climb even higher than Terence Crawford in boxing's historical rankings. He emphasizes that Crawford is already firmly established as one of the sport's greats, a 5-division champion with an outstanding record. According to Bradley, Stevenson possesses comparable natural talent and technical skill, with the main difference being timing and available opportunities. He clarifies that this isn't about Stevenson following Crawford's exact path of multiple undisputed titles or moving through numerous weight classes. Instead, Bradley suggests that Shakur may have access to advantages Crawford didn't, due to the boxing politics in play during Crawford's rise. Bradley points out that if figures like Turki Alalshik had been involved at the time, connecting promoters and facilitating major bouts, Crawford could have faced opponents such as Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Yordanis Ugas earlier in his career, which might have further enhanced his legacy.
So like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the stance of becoming 3-time undisputed and, going up to, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. He already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you have guys like Turki Alalshik that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, make these big fights.
Given the current landscape, Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson is entering a period where top-level matchups are far more attainable, especially with so many skilled fighters between 130 and 135 pounds. Unlike earlier eras, when boxing politics often prevented major fights, Shakur now has a clearer path to face elite competition consistently. Bradley highlights a number of potential opponents, including Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, Ashaqui Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Brian Garcia, and several others who could realistically step into the ring with him. In his view, Stevenson not only has the talent to compete with these fighters, but also the ability to defeat them, strengthen his resume, and potentially establish a legacy that could rival or even surpass Crawford's.
He was around when Crawford was on his climb. When Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas and, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, The list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. Bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters hovering around 135, 130, guys like, Oshaki Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
There remains a significant obstacle, yet watching these two in action, it's difficult to see either of them losing under ordinary conditions. Barring any unusual circumstances, both appear to operate on an entirely different level. When Shakur made his statement, Devin Haney quickly replied, and Shakur shot back just as fast. This rapid back-and-forth highlights the dynamic at play when top-tier fighters are fully aware of each other's moves and ready to respond instantly.
Is he going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial four kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Teo, and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the four kings 2.0 from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, who is often overlooked when discussing that iconic era, actually defeated Roberto Duran, a fighter who struggled against several of the original four kings. Duran only beat Sugar Ray Leonard once, was convincingly knocked out by Tommy Hearns, outclassed by Marvin Hagler, and also lost to Benitez. Yet despite these accomplishments, Benitez tends to be forgotten in the larger conversation, though a similar situation can be seen in modern boxing. Fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez frequently draw more attention than Shakur Stevenson. However, Stevenson is beginning to emerge as a standout, especially following his commanding win over Teofimo Lopez. At the same time, Gervonta Davis's ongoing legal issues and reluctance to pursue major fights further highlight the unique challenges and opportunities that define today's boxing landscape.
We had that four-king era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Teo, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined a light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Bernie Thorboxer shares his perspective on a potential showdown between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, highlighting the achievements and legacies of both athletes. Stevenson has claimed titles in 4 different weight divisions, won the Lineal Championship twice, and held the Ring Magazine belt on 2 separate occasions. At 130 pounds, he became a 2-time unified champion, defeating elite opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who is recognized for rising to the occasion in every big fight.
The fight, Conor Benn comes into the ring, they talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that. And now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money for the...
Devin Haney, meanwhile, is a 3-division world champion and was previously an undisputed title holder. Bernie stresses that if Shakur Stevenson truly wants to prove his greatness, he should take on Haney at the height of his powers without hesitation. Defeating Devin in his prime would leave no doubt about Stevenson's abilities and ensure he receives full credit for such a landmark achievement. Bernie highlights that both fighters rank among the sports elite, but a victory over a peak Haney would firmly establish Stevenson as one of the defining fighters of his generation, demonstrating his talent, determination, and championship-level skill.
He fights accomplishments, because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. So he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner. 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. So he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion. And that was it. He was in his prime too. Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140. Not taken away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying. Lomachenko was a little older and small.
Shakur Stevenson recently delivered a dominant performance against Teofimo Lopez, and Buse Ennis highlighted just how remarkable it was, especially since Stevenson was essentially fighting with one hand. His jab, the cornerstone of boxing, was sharp and accurate, controlling the ring with ease. Every movement was calculated and effective, demonstrating technical mastery that made Lopez, despite his skill and athleticism, appear overmatched. Critics who questioned Stevenson's resume, claiming he hadn't faced top-tier opponents, were proven wrong. From a technical perspective, Stevenson executed his strategy nearly flawlessly. Lopez struggled simply because he was facing a fighter operating at the highest level.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. Mm-hmm. And, they were critical of Shakur. He ain't fought nobody and this and that. Yeah. He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. He looked like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning, even the time when
Even with a slight injury to his left hand, Shakur Stevenson maintained control throughout the fight, leaning on his jab while using his left hand sparingly because of the discomfort. Buzzy notes that Stevenson could have gone for a stoppage if he wanted, but he chose to manage the bout intelligently despite the limitation. The performance showcased more than just his technical prowess. It highlighted his ring awareness and composed approach under pressure. Fans in Philadelphia and beyond witnessed a true masterclass, with Stevenson asserting himself as one of boxing's top talents. Even while dealing with an injury, he dictated the pace and rhythm of the fight, proving that greatness comes not from perfect conditions, but from skill, determination, and unwavering focus.
Yeah, Shakur knows he could have got stopped too, but Shakur hurt his left hand. Yeah. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the hook.
And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we can hear you on the TV.
Yeah, that's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he looked spectacular, man. You know what I mean? You can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it right.
The potential showdown between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney has fans buzzing with excitement. Both fighters bring world-class skill, exceptional speed, and relentless drive, making every second in the ring tense and unpredictable. Analysts and fans alike are studying their styles and previous performances, debating who will come out on top. Every punch and every movement will carry weight, with the stakes higher than ever. Stevenson's technical mastery will face off against Haney's combination of speed and power, creating a matchup that promises thrilling action. The energy surrounding this fight is electric, and it could define both of their careers, delivering one of the most memorable contests in recent boxing history.
That even remotely sparks my interest for Shakur Stevenson is this guy right here, Devin Haney. Look at them, they're the same size. Obviously, Devin's moved up to 147. Shakur demands a catch weight. We'll see if Devin goes for the bait, because I think Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt about it, he has the skills to compete at 147 to be 5 weight division champion. I feel like that would...
That's all for today's video. Be sure to stay connected for more updates, and we'll catch you in the next one.